stealth mode. They can't see me. I might just get away with this. That went a lot easier than I thought it was going to. Yeah, sorry folks, but you're kind of you're in, but don't worry, I am gonna let you go out here. So, TB test tomorrow. I need to be sure I can get them in. So, they can have this little bit of paddock just to spend some time out in the sun. I'm going to put some fresh straw in the barn, which will make them happy because I'll be happy to go in there. And then hopefully tomorrow, 9 o'clock, I can either call them up or get them in. Or tonight. They've got to be in the barn for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's the whole point of this exercise. Yeah. Okay, they have drained that 3,000 litre tank. So, I hadn't noticed that. That's okay. That's no good to man the beast. Fortunately though, I know where there's a new one. Well, newer one. There. It works. Have to make sure. Yep, that tank is empty. This one might have a bit left in him. Nope, he's empty too. So that's 6,000 litres. A lot of water. Doesn't matter because they've got mains water there and they've got mains water over there. So they're not going to go thirsty. And of course now they've got mains water there as well. But they will drink a lot of water in a day. Don't ask what the water meter bill is like because I don't even look at it. I just pay it and it's done. Okay, it is almost 10:30. I reckon the dew will be burnt off any or all of the grass over to the farm now. Just going to check on this tank, make sure nothing's overflowing, and then we're going to go and throw some grass about. Right, boys and girls. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so we're going to spin this hay. Might call in to see Reg. I think he's up at the barn doing some work on the combine, so I might call in to see him. Then back later on, we're going to give them some straw so they'll be happy, just because it's different. That's kind of it then. And then possibly back over again later. We'll see what the drying's like. Spin the hay again. We've got a bale it Friday because there is threat of some rain on the weekend. So first time I knock it about, I can go fairly aggressively at it. After that, we've kind of got to go a bit slower. You can't beat it up too much because you end up losing all the leaf, and all you do is turn the good stuff into dust, and the coarse stuff that they don't really want is all that's left. You might as well make straw. So yeah, so this morning I can go at it fairish. After that, slower. Biscuit, you come in? I thought you might. Right, you ready? Go on then. That is drying quite well. This was thick out here. I mean, really, really thick. But that has gone off surprisingly well. I got a funny feeling I'm going to wish I'd cut the lot. Yeah, it's still green underneath, but that is to be expected. Come on. You come in? Come on, you princess. Oh, God. There you go. Just a quick note for you, those of you that were worried about Biscuit's bed being up there. It never actually left the tractor, okay? It's still here. It's just that it's down there. So sometimes she likes to sit up there, and sometimes she likes to sit down there. So, just so you know. It's Americana. Good. Yeah, it won't be long now. We've still got that to cut. I reckon it's quite possible they will have a hell of a crop of grass. Richard. Shall we? Like I say, when we're spinning grass for hay, the first time you spin it, when it's green, you can bash it a bit. It'll stick together. But as it dries, it comes apart much easier. And if you watch folks doing this job with huge clouds of dust behind them, most of that dust is the feed value of your grass disappearing into the atmosphere because you're bashing it too hard. Bashing green is good because it bruises it, dries faster. Bashing dry, you don't want to bash it, you want to turn it. So tomorrow morning we've got part one of our TB test, which will be fairly stressful, and I'll probably enjoy coming back over here to do this again, because when I'm on the tractor tomorrow, it will mean that the first part of the stressful bit of the day is done. There's kind of nothing really stressful about this, it's just pointing this thing in the right direction and pressing the odd button. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be yin and yang. There's a few moles out around here, which if I was making silage would be an issue, because if you're picking up soil in your wet grass, your silage, and then wrapping it in plastic, soil, for all the good it does, can also carry some pretty unpleasant little bugs that if they get into your silage can make your livestock pretty ill. Whereas hay, because we're turning it and knocking it about and drying it, the chances of any soil contamination, although it can happen, the chances of any soil contamination doing any real harm to the livestock is vastly reduced. Almost done. Last little triangle down there, and that's this morning. Well, this morning's done anyway. That's this morning spinning out the way and done. I'm probably not going to do any more. I was thinking of going over that bit again, but do you know what? It's drying that fast. I don't think I need to. So I think it's going to be leave it like this today, come back tomorrow afternoon after TB, turn it all again Wednesday, possibly turning it again Thursday if I think it needs it. We'll have to just do a moisture test on the grass and see what it's like. By Friday, I would imagine it will be dry enough to bale into hay, but not dry enough to be put in the barn, so it will be left out. We might sort of stack it in rows to save the ends. We'll leave it out to sweat for a week, 10 days, and then we'll bring it in. So we'll do our usual trick, come out with some steel road pins. We usually spike the headland bales because they're usually the dampest and quite often the thickest. Spike the headland bales, and when they're cold, then everything else should be fit to come in. That's the plan. Okay, we are almost very nearly done. That's the last bit. Sorted. Right, I don't know if Reg is at the barn on the combine service or not, but I'm going to put the tractor away. I'm not putting it up the shed because it's in his way, so I'm going to park it outside my neighbour's house because they'll look after the tractor for me. And we'll take a wander up and just see if Reg is in the barn tinkering with the combine. That's some serious old chopper blades in there, isn't it? Yeah, you wouldn't want to get involved with them, would you? Right, Reg isn't here, but Andy is, so we're going to go and see what he's up to. I was going to say morning, but it's actually afternoon. Afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Ian. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, and yourself?
Yeah, good old boy, mate.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Do I look like I am?
If you'd said yes, I'd have called you a fibber.
Yeah. I'd have agreed with you as well.
So you're replacing all of them, are you?
Yeah,
every last one?
Replacing all the fingers. We took the knife out and took all the blades off there last week, completely replaced.
Oh, that's the knife underneath down there.
He's under there and out of the way at the moment. And what we're doing now, we're taking off all the fingers now.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of these are still in good fettle, but what they actually do, they sort of burr. They sort of burr around, and and what happens is it snags on the knife.
Okay.
And you don't get a clean run, and you could end up with a few issues like that. So
it's fuel as well, isn't it?
Sorry,
fuel as well.
Yeah.
No, if you're making a
if you can get the right knife running smoothly,
yeah,
the economy of so it will sort of pay for itself. So yeah, it is a bit tedious. It's better actually if this was on the combine because you could lift the reel up.
Oh yeah,
but if you're trying to do, you just keep catching around on these tines, like So.
All right. Yeah.
It's not too bad, like I mean, I've got the chairman's job, so that's near.
The chairman's.
So yeah, apart from that, she's cost a few £1 again this year, unfortunately.
But isn't that the same every year?
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I think we're going to be into the 10-12 grand mark again.
Is it? Just for the service?
And replacement parts and
Oh, yeah.
bearings and everything else. And say the centre the old that goes through the tank that goes to the offloading over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was all folded back in. So
Oh, right,
all
okay.
all that's out. That's all being had new floats put on it. So yeah, and new belts and bearings. Honest to God, I struggled at half the time. They said works for a couple of 3 weeks of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And but there's a lot of work in those 3 weeks.
Oh, it does absolutely, yeah. But you know, you've got to justify the fact it's 10 or 12 grand every year. You know what I mean?
Well, you've got to cut a lot of crop.
Yeah. It's got to pay for itself.
And like we said earlier, with the rape as well being a thick, quite woody stem.
Well, the thing is now, like I say, with the new knife at the end of the day, even though the rape will be desiccated, it's sprayed off at some point, probably, in a couple of weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, we'll probably desiccate it. But even at the top of the plant, as you know, because all brown and crispy and all the rest of it, right at the very bottom, it is still green.
Still green, is it? Oh, it's not too bad
of course,
then.
with the knives, it really does take. And some of these stalks, you've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah.
Some as thin as your finger.
Yeah.
And some are like trees, aren't they?
They are.
You know, and they do take some cutting. So yeah, this will do us a big favour of doing all this, like, you know. But the crop's looking really good, which I'm pleased to say, like, you know.
I had a look at it earlier, and it's you can see where Reg has been spraying, where the sprayer's gone over it and flattened it over.
Yeah, I know,
so
you can't do nothing about that, you know. You had to go through. A couple of weeks ago, I forgot the application he was putting on there. There's only one more. There's only one more pass, and that's for the desiccation. Yeah. And that's it. But you will always get that on, push it down on the tram anyway. You know?
Yeah, I spent an hour with him when he was doing it here with the sprayer, so it was
Yeah. So it's not going to be long now, is it?
No, this is a rainy day job, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, in fact, just say it's beautiful out there. But
it is.
To be honest with you, know what I mean? The other day we all had coats and trousers and all the rest of it. Like you go from 15 degrees up to about 25 degrees and try and climatise in one day. You just can't do it. No. You just can't do it. So if you can dodge in and out, if we were outside, I wouldn't it be straight in the blazing sunlight, you know? But
no, I'm not a big fan of blazing sunshine.
No. I don't want a bit of it, like, but I'd be honest.
What's going to make the hay?
Oh, that'll be fine then.
Yeah, make the hay.
Fine. Well, this is what everyone's been waiting for now, this break, isn't it? And the last few years, it always is like mid-June, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, which is good. And you can get a lot of farmers, unless you've got hundreds and hundreds of acres. I suppose there's very few that's got that to do. But I think if you've got just a fair few, I think it'd be great. You can knock it over, get it dry. You should make some good stuff at the moment.
I think we got 36 acres to cut here, and another 10, maybe 18 at home.
Okay.
So hopefully, we'll have enough.
Yeah, you should do.
So,
are you wrapping yours, or you just put
hay?
Oh, straight into the barn.
Straight into the barn. I'll let it sweat out in the field for a week because even with this dry, there's going to be some green in there.
So you're going to get a bit, aren't you? Yeah.
But well, I don't buy in the wrap, paying to wrap it, and then getting rid of the wrap at the end. Yeah. You know, you're adding possibly £1,000 for 300 bales. Yeah. Well, easily. Yeah. So, and if I've got a new barn now, I can put them in. I might as well put them in the barn. And the hay is preferred by the cattle.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd rather eat hay than the haylage. Yeah. So.
Well, the plastic's gone through the roof, hasn't it, evidently?
Well, and getting rid of it. Everything's gone through the roof. Yeah. Everything. So. But
I just don't know where it's all going to end up, to be honest with you.
No, nor do I. So, how long did it take you to change all those knives on that blade?
I'd like to say an hour, but it took me, put that in about another 7 with it, and you'd be somewhere near it. Like,
all day?
Well, the trouble is, like, we're working in the conditions here, you know what I mean? I had to get barrels in them on, try and get it on there. Well, you know, the ideal thing for that really would be if you had a couple of D1010 bells, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've got a nice working height. Yeah. You can lay it on the bells, like, you know what I mean? You could just get the ratchet, take all the nuts off, then go through after and just tap all the bolts out, you know what I mean, all the little studs then. Yeah. And then come back, but the trouble is, I was trying to make up some of that barrels down on the side, it's rolling, it was bent. And if you hit it, it just springs, honestly.
How many cuts?
Not one. And I changed 80 of the chopper blades on the back of the combine, you know, when we...
Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah, those knives...
They look quite sharp.
Oh, they're nasty, and I changed 80 of them the other day, and of course you've got to get your spanners and try, you can't really get anything else in. 80 off, 80 back on. Yeah. Look, I might as well start working for 80.
Still got all your fingers, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, just about, yeah. I'll be down boots, shouldn't I, really, selling cosmetics, some of the lads like this. Oh, probably not.
Yeah, maybe not. No.
Or Creasy 2000, one of the two.
Yeah.
Right. We'll go there, won't it?
Yeah.
We'll go all on it.
Yeah, so she's having all new bits and bobs and like in service as well. Because there was an issue with the engine last year, or?
No, there was a bit of an oil pressure problem we had.
Yeah.
there's a bit of malfunction. The problem is, I mean, lights, you know, I'm a believer that warning lights are there for a reason, like, you know.
Yeah.
All this, that'll be right, that'll be right, you've got to check. And all it really was a sensor.
Yeah.
But
I got a...
we lost a fair bit of time until obviously got these guys out to check it, like, you know.
Yeah.
You don't know, you've got to stop. You just can't afford to blow things to pieces, like, you know.
My expansion bottle sensor on the tractor, I've only got a 1 millimetre below cold fill level,
yeah.
and the orange light comes off. And it's just, and I think it's just when it gets hot, it just blows a little bit out through, and it just, if I'm on
the breather, like.
Yeah, and it's just a pain.
Yeah.
You have to stop and look.
You want peace of mind, don't you?
Yeah, but now I think it's because I've done it 20 times now, I now know what.
You know exactly what to do.
I go in there about once a month in the summer, half a pint of water in an expansion bottle, that's it.
Yeah.
Done.
That'll do.
That's done. So I thought I had a gasket or something going, but no.
No.
Nothing.
But like I say, the problem is that you just can't take a chance now, can you?
No.
Because if you do think, well, that'll be okay, it's not. It is, you know, it's only that 1 millimetre.
You can't afford to replace it.
Well, there you go. There you go.
No, can't afford to replace it. I've got to look for the sake of a bit of water. And I mean, the first thing, it was the radiator cap. Had a little tiny crack in it. That's what,
really?
That's what
so it was just pushing through there?
Yeah.
When it got hot, obviously.
Yeah, but we changed the radiator cap.
Yeah.
It doesn't do as much now. I mean, I top it up maybe twice a year, half a pint.
Lovely.
But I'm just putting that down to getting very hot, working, and throwing it out. I hope that's what it is anyway. So.
Well, I should be topping myself up with half a pint tonight.
Oh, will it only half?
Well, no, probably about another 12 to go with it.
Yeah. You'll find your way home.
You should never drink half. Never drink half. Oh, the glass was empty, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, well, I'm going to see what this other gentleman's up to in a minute. So,
you spoke to the engineer?
No, I'm just going to go see Richard now, and then see what he's up to, and then I'm going to go over for my dinner.
Okay. And when you come back, I'll still be here.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I'll see you there, mate. Cheers. And so this is Richard from class.
Good afternoon.
How do you do, Richard? So what are you? Oh, I remember Reg saying something about this. Was a bit there was an issue.
Yeah. So what we've got here is clean grain elevator. Which takes crop from the bottom basically to the grain tank.
Yeah.
And then simple old-fashioned mechanism, just a chain with some paddles on it.
Yeah.
And what we've got is nice new paddle.
What are they made out of? Plastic?
Plastic.
Okay, right.
And on the floor we've got some worn out paddles. So as you can see.
Oh yeah, they are a little bit, aren't they? Yeah.
The one there that's fairly well worn away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not
not very efficient then, is it? So
no, it's not a complete set to change. There's about half a dozen of them in total.
Yeah, and I suppose with rape as well, because it's such a tiny grain.
Yeah.
Those gaps.
It will just keep literally dropping it back to the bottom and trying to take it up all the time.
Yeah, and then crushing the seed and then getting oil everywhere.
So what we want is cropping the grain cap, basically.
Yeah, quite right.
That's the bit we're on at the moment.
Okay, and other than that, it's just basic servicing and replacing worn bits.
It's usual combine maintenance of bearings and belts, basically.
Yeah.
So she's had a full fluid service, filters and oils.
Right.
And we're just slowly putting her back together.
Right. Good job.
Yeah.
Right, well I better leave you to it, or else Reggie Beer telling me off for stopping you. Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed. All right, cheers. Have a good day. Come on, you. Cheers, Andy. In you go. Right. Well, no Reg. Apparently, he's taken the dogs off to the poodle poofing parlour to be trimmed. Yeah. You might be coming out due in as well. So I thought you might be interested just to see what's going on, a little bit of maintenance or servicing or whatever you want to call it. Reg said there was a few issues with the combine. I know he'd and ahed about changing it, but to buy a combine harvester these days, not cheap. Servicing a combine is not cheap either, but I think like Reg was saying, the actual machine itself, there's nothing wrong with it. It just had some bits and bobs that needed repairing, needed replacing. Andy reckons the bill's going to be somewhere between £10,000 and £12,000, but that is all the knives changed, all the fingers changed, a lot of the belts, a lot of springs and clutches, elevators. I think Andy said that the discharge auger. The flights on that were quite worn. So they've all been replaced as well. So lots of stuff that when it's put back together, you wouldn't even know it's been done. All the internal bits and bobs. But like we're doing a lot of oilseed rape this year, or Reg is doing a lot of oilseed rape this year. It's a big woody plant, but a tiny little seed. So the combine has to deal with 6 foot tall plant with stems that can be up to an inch, even sometimes more thick. That has to be chopped up because we're chopping our straw. We're not baling any of the oilseed rape straw. Reg said in a previous video, like the potash and the fertilizer content of that straw going back into the ground. With the cost of granular fertilizers and liquid fertilizers at the moment, we may as well make best use of what we've got. Yes, we could sell the right rape straw, but then we got to buy fertilizer. And I think one outweighs the other. There's no real benefit. And the way I look at it, to put organic material back into the soil is good for the soil. I mean, putting granular stuff's on okay, but it doesn't add anything to the soil. It doesn't feed the worms or the microbiota in the soil, whereas the straw breaking down over the next 12 months, 2 years, will all add feed value for the worms and the other sort of microorganisms that live in the soil. So yeah, so the combine is basically being taken apart, put back together, and anything that needs replacing is being replaced. So I actually spoke to Andy before I took the camera in there. In fact, I spoke to both chaps and said, do you mind if I take the camera in? And Richard said he didn't care. He was quite happy. Was he going to be famous? I said, not as famous as Andy, not yet. And he was saying to me about that finger bar taking him all day. It's 50, I think it says 50 blades. Was it 50 or 100 blades? Do you know, I can't remember. I know the word 100 came into the thing. So, and each blade has 2 bolts. They're captive bolts, which if you know what like a wheel stud's like in an old drum brake, it's just like a bolt with little veins on it, little fins that you can tap in. So like that, every one has to be undone, tapped out, and then you've got to tap it back in again to actually make the thing grip so you can do up the nut. So anyway, job's done. Job's a good one. Hopefully, harvest only about 6-8 weeks away. Not long now.